dice that night, reaping a grim harvest of horror. He dragged the body down the stairs to the kitchen, put him into the icebox. The maniac killer was doomed by the crimson hatchet. He held in his blood-red hand. Blood-red hand. They got him in the end. The end.
Welcome to Division 3AM's Aftermath Podcast. I'm Scary Gary, and joining me today, ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, boys and girls, ghosts and ghouls, I'm Scary Gary, and joining me today, as always, is Juicy Jeff.
Hey guys, what's up?
Eerie Aaron.
Unmute Mike.
Eerie Aaron. We're stumbling. There's Sharon.
Hi.
We'll get into that in a minute. Hi, there she is. And Spooky Sammy.
Hi.
We are Division 3AM, and this is the Aftermath Podcast, the show where we talk about the place we just investigated. And where did we just investigate? The Collingwood Arts Center in Toledo, Ohio, our dream location. So we're here to talk to you guys about that today. Today. Not tomorrow, not yesterday. Not like a text that just doesn't get answered. You know who you are.
Texts that doesn't get answered.
This definitely wasn't recorded 3 weeks before we finally put it out. Not at all.
Nope, not at all. But before we jump into anything, we're going to reveal our beers of the show. Jeff gave you a little sample there. I'm drinking this Iron Maiden Brewdog Hellcat. Had to read that. And then when I'm done with that, I'll be drinking this Peachy Party by Blake's Hard Ciders. And then I have Angry Orchard. And then I have a Wicked Apple. And then I have this Spiked Strawberry Lemonade. So I'm going to be drinking those throughout the show. And I'm going to set a goal to try to finish them by the end of the show. Unfortunately, we just lost 2 people.
Yes, we did. Also, Gary plans on getting completely shit-faced during this show.
Spirits with spirits. Well, here's a little transition for you guys that I made just for moments like this, while we wait for them to return.
Your only mistake is thinking we actually know what we're doing. Aftermath Podcast.
And they're back. And we're back. Wasn't that transition cool? I lied, though. I didn't make it for situations like this. I literally made it after I said that because I don't have a transition for that. But it's going to be cool, even though Jeff was muted. We told him this was going to happen. He said himself this was going to happen. He'd forget to unmute.
Yeah, it's true. No, I'm unmuted. I'm not muted.
How many views do you think we get if we just got anything?
Y'all want to get famous or what?
Y'all want to get famous or not? No? You good?
So, you saw everything I plan on drinking. What are you drinking today, Jeff?
I have something from Drecker Brewing Company called Mango Orange Banana Brains. It's a double fruit smoothie sour.
Brains.
It's fucking delicious, too. It's absolutely delicious.
It is. It's pretty good.
We've had it. It's good.
What about you, Aaron? What are you drinking?
Me and Sam are drinking the samesies Twinkies. Yay!
And we also got this though. We also
Pickle
got a little bit of
vodka.
this. We got this,
Pickle shots.
and we got a pickle shot.
Pickle shots and
Pickle
Bacardi rum
shots.
punch.
Yeah,
By the end of the night,
it's pretty yummy.
that'll be Bacardi pickle shots.
It's a weird combination.
We're a weird combination.
Bacardi pickle shots.
Touche.
So that's what we're drinking. We're not focusing much on that today. We usually stick on what we're drinking way too long, so we're just going to move on into the next thing. And the next thing is how we each individually felt going in to the Collingwood Arts Center. I will start
That's a good thing.
by saying I was overwhelmed. Completely overwhelmed. Yes, I've been in the building before, but I haven't been everywhere in the building. I've been in very few places early on. So I thought that was all there was to it until we went in this time and we got the tour, and it is a maze. It is the biggest maze of a place
Very much
we've
so.
been in since. We've talked about mazes before. We've talked about mazes with Stone Mansion. We talked about Haunted Hydro being a maze. Now, this was a freaking maze. You could not remember how to get to places that you were shown. You had to literally wander.
We regularly got lost trying
We
to
did.
find locations.
Yeah.
We got
Regularly
lost a lot. And half the time somebody would be telling you like, no, it was right over here. And then the other person would be like, no, I swear it was up these stairs through this door. And you could try both of those directions and they'd both be wrong. So you just wandered
Yeah, some of the
aimlessly.
hallways looked so similar
Yeah,
that you got yourself lost.
Yeah,
For sure.
we would wander aimlessly until we finally found what we were looking for. And I think a couple of times I just gave up on the place I wanted to go and just picked one along the way and just
Yeah.
stayed there. I was like, all right, I'll just ghost hunt here instead.
The only easy spot to find was the theater because it was centralized.
Yes, that was like
Mhm.
the focal point of the place. And apparently they do Raw. Whatever show that is was just playing there last night. We were just there to do some photos last night, and they had a show going on. And we just had conversations with people. It was pretty packed.
They're pretty packed
shockingly.
too.
People were all like, how
That's
do you
pretty
get in
cool.
there? And we're like, the sign that says open. Or at
Yeah,
least
that one.
Sam said that.
That was kind of a dick response,
Yeah.
but it was fantastic.
We're all like, yeah, it's over there. And Sam's like, over there with the big sign that says open, blinking.
Hey, when you work in retail for so long,
Yeah, her customer
Like-
service is like, I'm done.
my customer service checks out after 8 o'clock. Sorry.
I'm not working today.
Like, you know what?
You're getting the
fucking-
best form of retail right now.
It's the big fucking sign. Like, can you not read?
Made that dude hang his head in shame. Okay,
I did.
thank you.
It was a victory.
We also let a couple walk up to the wrong door before we finally told them what the right door
Yeah.
was.
It's not our job. We're there for a whole different reason. We don't work there.
Like, I didn't want to watch. I didn't watch you play.
So besides the overwhelming size and location of everything, the getting lost, it's beautiful. We say this about places, but this architecture was just beyond beautiful. Like everything
Mhm.
about it was
Definitely.
amazing. Definitely had the religious tones to it, but not overdone. Not like you would walk in and go, yeah, this was a religious place if you didn't know about it before. There's some
Right.
statues hidden in some stairwells. I actually never found my way to that statue during the investigation because I don't remember how to get there. But on the
Not
tour,
at
there
all.
was a statue of an angel, and you know what? Just for the hell of it, because on the tour,
No, it was a statue of Saint Angela. That's
Yeah.
who it was a
A
statue
nun,
of.
right?
yeah, and there was like a little kid
Mhm.
statue with her, and
Mhm.
I made a cool little video with some commentary where she was talking to the kid, and the kid was talking back to her, and here it is. We're going to not be allowed in after you see this, though.
I don't know what this is. Sorry.
Yeah, we don't.
We don't know what this is.
We didn't see this beforehand. You can let us in.
This was only Gary. Only Gary.
Are you reading? I can't. I'm hungry. Are you reading this, you little shit? Read this letter. I'm hungry. Well, not now. Just read this. Read this right here. Please feed me. Are you fucking listening? Read this fucking letter. Hungry. Ah, damn it.
For me, that was my experience walking into the place. What about you, Jeff?
Oh God, you put me on the spot. No. Honestly, for me, I was excited because the place is massive, and I'd never been in there. These guys had been in there at least to some degree. Looked around a little bit. I had never been in, so it was my first experience inside the building. And the place is massive, and it's awesome. I was excited to get started and get set up and start investigating this hugely historic building.
What about you, Sam?
Honestly, I was kind of disappointed with the way I felt when I walked in, because it was just kind of like, I don't know. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be, so I think I was hyping myself up a little bit too much about it. I didn't really feel much that I thought I would feel walking into a place that was home to some of my biggest fears. But
Nuns.
I thought I was going to walk in and just be absolutely terrified, like something was going to happen. I never really felt that. I never really felt uneasy. I felt a little bit up in the nuns' quarters, but not very much. So overall, it was just kind of like, it's a haunted location. Like, let's just see what happens. But it was never how I thought it was going to be, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you, Aaron?
I had a good time. I was very sick. Come to find out I had COVID the whole time. So that was nice. So I was dying, but it was beautiful. There were times that I felt a little vulnerable, like when I went to go do my isolation session and I got lost, and I was like sitting there trying to figure out how I was going to get to the spot, and I was just like, fuck this, I'm not going to be alone by myself. So, I'm not very good with the isolation sessions, but
I'm not either. So
but more so there. I just felt vulnerable. I didn't want to be alone. But it wasn't as bad as, like Sam had said, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, because I had been terrified of that place for a long time. But I think with whatever amends we made prior to going in, it had set a completely different tone to our investigation. So I didn't feel like that heaviness or that, like, I just didn't feel bad about it. So
Now, before we went, we all revisited an occurrence, an incident from way back, just before we recorded our first episode of the show, where we had an incident at the cemetery where the Ursuline nuns are buried. And we all had bad luck with nuns after that. We had nightmares, and except for Jeff, Sam, and Aaron. I had nightmares and was probably drugged by a nun in whatever way, however it was done. I had no control over myself. Go back, watch that episode. We talked about it in our Before the Aftermath as well. Aaron had dreams about a nun. Sam seen a nun. We all just had issues with it. So superstitions, or whatever you want to call it, we decided to each go to the cemetery and make amends with the nuns, apologize, and clear the air before we went into the Collingwood. And I do think that did help out a lot, because it felt kind of worrying and negative before that for me. And after that, it felt like, just weight lifts it off your shoulders, that it was going to be all right. So we really didn't have...
In other words, we shouldn't have done it, because we would have got more activity.
Yeah, true that. We calmed it down.
Yeah.
We calmed it down a bit. But that's not to say we didn't get anything good, because boy, do we got something good for y'all. Y'all stick in here. Yeah,
True,
just hang in here for the evidence. Coming up soon, we got some cool stuff. We got a lot of EVPs here between all of us. There's only one audio file I know that hasn't been reviewed yet, and that would be Liz's. She hasn't reviewed it yet. So there might be even more when we get them on the website. But as of right now, between the four of us, we have quite a few EVPs to go over. And I have not listened to anybody else's yet. I clicked on them to make sure they played and saved it off for the show. So we'll be hearing each other's EVPs for the very first time on this episode, as we normally do. We don't share EVPs with each other unless they're extremely awesome, are mind-blowing, and sometimes we don't even share them then. Like that scream in the basement of Trinway.
Yeah. Sometimes Gary sandbags them and
Yeah.
freaks us
Yeah.
all
Likes
out.
to sprinkle that in there like spicy glitter.
Yeah. Go watch the episode at the Prospect Place estate where I dropped the scream on him that I got in the basement. Nobody seen it coming. Nobody went to sleep.
Yeah, you can definitely see our reaction was legit.
So leading up to going to Collingwood, not only was there tons of excitement for us to go, stuff started happening. If you have ever seen the show Hellier, you'll know what I'm talking about. Crazy synchronicities, crazy coincidences, just things that were popping up that you felt were more than what they appeared when they happened. And I've tried to keep a nice little list here of all the synchronicities I could remember happening. There may be some more that I couldn't remember because there were a lot. And it's not like we were filming anything or preparing to talk about synchronicities so we could keep track of all this. This stuff was just happening. We weren't prepared. So I was keeping notes after we started to realize this was happening a lot. So the very first one I could think of was the very first one I think started the snowball effect. I was editing together a little preview trailer before we were going into Collingwood. And I was trying to find a movie, a silent film that was in public domain that I could use clips from that had nuns in it. And I needed to find the name of that movie. So I typed in like a description, like a old silent film from the 1920s with nuns. And after I hit enter in Google, my phone dings. So I never saw the results pop up. I look to my phone and I get a text from somebody saying, "Hey, Cecilia, we're having a party. Do you want to come tomorrow?" And me being me, didn't think anything of it and replied to them jokingly, like, "What kind of party is it?" Like just trying to get them into a funny ass conversation, lure them into a prank. But as soon as I sat my phone back down and I looked up and seen the results for the name of this movie, which is Haxan, by the way, Season of the Witch in America, the first thing I see is a nun named Cecilia is possessed by the devil. And I was like, what the fuck? I just got a text asking for someone named Cecilia. And the movie I'm looking up has a nun named Cecilia. So I let these guys know how weird that seemed to be. Something felt in my gut when that happened, that it was more than it seemed. Like I got that weird feeling about it. And then Sam had an experience at her job with a nun. What was that, Sam?
So I was working on the truck, and I was just putting freight away, minding my own business. So I look up, and around the corner comes this nun with a dog. I promptly take off running to the back and have my little freak out. Eventually, I come back out, and I kind of skirt her a little bit because I don't want to deal with that. Even though her dog was like super cute, like could have got down on some of those pets, but wasn't happening. So, she goes around, makes her rounds, get everything she needs. She goes to the thing. Come to find out that her name was Cecilia. Sister Cecilia. And I don't remember if she was actually from the Ursuline Order.
You said she was.
She was. Then yeah. And I couldn't remember if she was or not, but yeah, like just for her name to just be Cecilia. And then shortly after that, for that whole entire week, that was the week before we went to Collingwood, so that whole week leading up to it, there was probably about 6 nuns that came into my thing, and they all had puppies. And they were all like black puppies, like little black puppies. They all had these puppies and getting all these stuff for these dogs. And then after we investigated Collingwood, I have not seen one of them. Not one.
It's weird.
Yeah,
has come back into my store.
It has truly died down with the synchronicities now.
Yeah.
I went to a flea market, and as you guys know from the past episodes, we like to collect oddities. So I usually set some time aside once a month, go out and go searching for oddities at different flea markets and antique malls. And I was at an antique mall in Maumee, and I see that this photographer that was famous in Toledo for doing stuff for the Blade and stuff, he had died, and all of his photos were there. Like, they just piles of photos. So we sat down, me and Liz, and we start looking through these photos with the thought in our mind, hey, you know, maybe there's pictures of some of our family members in here that was captured over the years. That'd be cool, right? We spent almost 2 hours looking through every photo that we could find back there. And while looking through those photos, I find photos of Ursuline nuns standing right in front of the Collingwood Arts Center, right at the very front door of the Gerber House. And immediately it struck me. I'm like, holy crap, Ursuline nuns. And they're in front of the Gerber House. What are the chances I find that? And we're getting ready to go into the Collingwood. And the next photo was Ursuline nuns posing together for whatever reason. I don't know what they were doing. They weren't in front of the Collingwood in this one, but they were in the same set. It was the same nuns. So I bought that photo and I took it home. Besides that, I found a strange book. This book here at the antique mall on a different day. Now it says, heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the lepers, and cast out demons. I thought this book was interesting. You can see all these markers here. So whoever owned this marked all these different pages, and the markers themselves highlight different sentences on the page. So I'm like looking through this, and a lot of it has to do with nuns, and then stuff like belief that the spirit is finite as well as infinite. So it's like all this almost paranormal stuff. Everything about ghosts is highlighted. There's also a piece of paper in this book with handwriting on it. You find it, because I just put it back on the page. I found it. I don't know what this exactly means, what it says, if anything. It's like almost like a diagram they drew or something. So that's pretty weird. There are some words I can't make out. They're in cursive. That's not the synchronicity, though. The synchronicity is I bought this book because it looked interesting. It was on a shelf filled with ceramic nuns and nun dolls and crucifixes and crosses, all kinds of stuff. This is where I found that book. I get home and I'm doing stuff for the Division 3 AM website, and I switch over to our Facebook, and I see a post with this book in the picture from a place we just investigated not too long ago. The guy who was our tour guide at Stone Mansion was having a book sale, and it had a photo of just this book stating how strange and weird this book was and that they were extremely rare, and he had one for sale at this book sale at the Stone Mansion. So what are the chances that I pick up this rare book I've never seen before and someone else posts that they're selling it from a place that we already ghost hunted? That stood out to me as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Then as we got closer, it seemed like the synchronicities picked up a little more. Sam seen a nun drive down her street.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me and Aaron were going to get...
It was the day of the investigation, I think, right?
Yeah, we were going over because Jeff wasn't answering his phone, so we were going over to his mom's to...
Yeah, it was the day of the investigation.
To wake him up. And, like, we were pulling out, and then we were just talking. and like pulling in this way. I just stopped talking. I'm like, none.
I'm like, what?
She's
I'm
like, what?
Oh.
And then she like looked and she was like, oh. And she like followed her. And like she has like pulled down my street and then she's gone. I'm like, the fuck? Like what is the
Hearing these tales like this, you would think that seeing a nun in our city is like quite common or something. It's not. It's really
Not
not.
at all.
You never ever see nuns here, especially if a nun in a habit. Never. But leading up to this investigation, we got a plethora of nuns. Just we were seeing nuns everywhere. And sure, it's kind of like that thing where they say you get a new car and all of a sudden you see that car everywhere because now you're looking at that car. It really does not feel like that. It does not feel like that type of phenomenon. This seemed like an energy that was just attracting it to us. Other synchronicities. What day did we all go out? Like you guys went to the flea market. I went to the flea market.
That was the day of the investigation.
That was the day of the investigation. Okay, so early in the day, I decide I'm going to go to the flea market and see if I can find my daughter an audio recorder because she was going on the investigation too. So I'm there and I see this musical nun doll and I wind it up and I sit it up on the top shelf because it was hidden amongst all these other dolls. And I send out a little Snapchat of the nun spinning around and it said like Collingwood investigation today or something like that. Well, all of a sudden, Aaron sends us one later, an hour or two later, of the same nun doll playing music. They happened to go to the same flea market as me, and we hadn't told each other where we were going. And they go to the same flea market, which is it's a whole block of flea markets. It's not just one flea market. There's multiple flea markets in this place. It's a whole plaza of flea markets. And they went into the same one I went into, saw the nun, took a video of it, had the music playing, sent it to me. And I'm like, go check my Snapchat. They go check it and they're like, what? I'm like, I'm the one who put that doll up there. And then all of a sudden
Insert
you guys come in
here.
later. Yeah, we'll put the video of the nun there. And we both end up in the same place looking at the same nun that I happen to put up there so it would be seen. And they're the next ones to see it and video it. That was freaking strange.
Yeah.
That same
that
day,
cool.
I'm in one of the other flea markets in that plaza, and I buy this guy. And then we get to Collingwood, and there's a gargoyle that looks just like this, carved into the fireplace. Its head is just sticking out right above the fireplace. So I'll put a picture of that here. I got a picture of it. And I'm like, it looks just like the gargoyle that I just bought. So not only did we see a nun at this place that we coincidentally both came across, we all came across the same musical nun. I find a gargoyle whose face is also in the Collingwood Arts Center. My daughter was trying to find information, trying to see if she could find the name of any of the nun spirits. And she sends me a screenshot saying, Dad, I found this article that says they believe her name is, what was it, Angelique? Or Angela or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that.
And I'm reading the article and I start to realize these names are really familiar to me. And I go find the article myself. And it's the article written by the guys from my very first paranormal team. I was on the team that this article was written about. So that's kind of weird. My daughter didn't know this. She had no clue. And that's the article she finds.
Well, plus that's my sister's middle name too. Like, that's just weird. Apparently, the nun,
you mentioned
the nun
that
hung herself. It's my sister's middle name.
And not to mention, Sam's name was carved into the wall of the stage.
It was.
Yeah, it
I
was.
didn't see that.
It was.
Then on our last show, we made a joke. What if where the nun sits is seat number 43? Well, where the guide told us that the nun is seen sitting in the balcony is not the same side I was always taught that everyone else knows. She told us the complete opposite side. So now I'm confused on that, but I did count the seats to where she said the nun sat. It was 43 on that side.
That's awesome.
What else did we have? So another thing, this happened after Collingwood, after we were going over evidence and stuff, and I was putting together a trailer. I come across a movie that was just filmed at Collingwood called Never Blink, filmed by the Booth brothers, two paranormal investigators, paranormal documentary makers that I absolutely love. And they happened to film this movie primarily at the Collingwood Arts Center, even naming the institute of the medical facility in the movie the Collingwood Institute. I looked up information on the movie, and they only filmed this at 4 locations: Collingwood Arts Center, Stone Mansion, Randolph Asylum, and the 4th I didn't even write down because I've never been there. But 3 out of the 4 that they filmed this movie at, we've been to. We've investigated 2 out of 3 of those, but we were going to investigate the other one. We just changed directions and went and investigated something else instead.
Yeah.
That's insane that not only did they film the movie there, just before we went in, we just found out yesterday they were supposed to come back the week after we were there. Somebody in the parking lot during the show we were just there for pointed this out to us. Now, these synchronicities, they just keep coming. They just keep going. Like, there's probably more than this. Like, the day after the investigation, I get a notification on my phone that there was a fire at the Calvary Cemetery where the Ursuline nuns are buried. So I immediately had to go look it up, and I'm like, yeah, there's police all over in there. I don't know where the fire happened, but I need to go there and find out if it was at the Ursuline nun plot, because I will fucking shit a brick.
Oh, what about the lady that emailed me and asked to make a nun habit?
Yeah, you just told us that.
I run a clothing shop and I make shirts. But she randomly was like, "Can you make me a nun habit?" Like, what? No,
I don't know how to.
But what are the odds of that?
Yeah.
Everything you could contact to ask her about. You're going to ask her about a nun habit when we've been nothing but knee deep in nun stuff.
I was like, this is strange, guys. Look at this.
Yeah, that's wild.
So this has been a rabbit hole. I mean, there's definitely more synchronicities. There's more coincidences than I can remember, because there were so many happening that I lost track of quite a few when I started finally writing them down. And I didn't start writing them down till after the investigation. I know there were a few other that were mentioned. I cannot remember them. But we have had them back to back to back to back to back. And then when we finished the investigation, it kind of calmed down a little bit. We went to incarceration. And then when we came back and dove back into the review, they started up again a little bit. So seems like every time we do something with this investigation, we're getting something to do with nuns. We're just, it's all drawn to us right now. Like, something's trying to get our attention. Like, this is what we're supposed to be doing. So with that being said, and us already having said that the place was confusing and we got lost, we are not done with the Collingwood Arts Center.
Not by a long shot.
Definitely going back. There's so many places we did not get to investigate in. There was just far too much. It was too overwhelming. We struggled to get done what we got done, and that didn't even scratch the surface. I don't even think we investigated 50% of what was available to investigate in there.
No.
And there's some hot spots we really need to get to.
Get in there permanently and go back regularly so we can do more.
Yeah, we're looking at an option that would allow us to come and go in there whenever we want. So we're not done yet. We're just getting started. And that's everything that leads up to our investigation. And now we're going to jump into what evidence we found. And as usual, we go through all of our EVPs first, audio first, and then we do video. We haven't had video in a while, but we have a video this time, and I really think it's a compelling video. It's a really good capture. It's something we can't explain, and I have through everything I can at this clip to see if it's something that could be explained. And I personally cannot come to a conclusion or an explanation on it. You'll have to wait until that point. So see you at the end of our evidence. That'll be our best item. We're just going to play everything, and we always save the best for last. Save the best for last. Starting
and
off,
normally it's not video. This time it is.
Yeah, normally we haven't had video. So if you're listening somewhere, you ain't gonna be able to see what we're showing. Unless you're on Spotify, because Spotify has video now. We have Spotify video podcasting. So check it out. Go get Spotify. Here we are, guys, going straight to the evidence.
Honestly, if you don't have Spotify, what are you doing?
Beating off.
We're about to listen to some strange and unusual files that may actually be the dead speaking from beyond the grave. Sometimes they're so strange, they're difficult to hear. So for the best experience, put your headphones on now.
All right, guys, so now we're going to jump into the evidence portion of the show. We got a lot of EVPs to go over here, so let me bring up the share on this. This is a sound file I believe more than one of us got, and I saved this as a clip because I had not debunked it yet. You'll hear what sounds like a bunch of banging. We're going to debunk this for you right after. Not even going to play the whole thing because it's fireworks.
Yep.
Uneventful.
Sorry.
Yeah, in our video review, which I'll include the clip of the video right here, you can see through the cracks in the curtains, fireworks going off. Had it not been for that clip, I would have had no clue that that was fireworks because it just sounds echoey and bangy. All the audio inside this place sounded different. Especially in the auditorium. Like if you farted, it sounded like a car going over a manhole cover.
Trust me, we tested it multiple times.
Yep, there's video of that. It's right here. So we're setting up cameras. And as you can hear, this room has amazing acoustics. Everything sounds like it's all around you. So... I farted. Just gotta do one more. It sounds like when a car hits a sewer cover. And there's a lot of video of this investigation because we're turning this into a much bigger project. We're actually going to put together a little documentary style movie for you guys. So look forward to that soon. Let's continue on with the evidence.
Soon is a relative term.
This is the liar chant. So you'll hear what sounds like a breathy voice saying liar, and then like monk chanting afterwards.
I caught that also I did catch that.
You caught that?
In the basement, which we'll play later.
This one is at a point where none of us were in the area. This is one of my recorders I just left off someplace. And there's just this random snap sound out of nowhere.
Up in my knee. No, but that is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a random snap. Burn, bitch.
Oh,
That's
were they
harsh.
talking to Aaron?
Probably. It's like breath.
So
You'll
it's
hear.
it's split into two.
Yeah, it's like burn, bitch.
Or witch. That's what they used to do to witches back in the day.
Hear that one?
Yeah, play it again though.
Play it from here.
It's so sad sounding.
Yeah, it's like very droney.
Don't need the bad ones.
This one says, I'll listen.
Yeah, sounds like a little girl almost.
Yep, definitely a
I'll
little
listen.
kid. So right here.
She sounds
Yeah,
cute.
that's good.
We did get a lot of kid voices and things like that here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
To be honest, that's why when everyone went off at one point, I mentioned this before, I stayed in the Gerber house because every time I got good evidence, it was from that area, and it was always the little kids. Like, they were the most prominent for me whenever I go there.
Mm.
Let me go, you guys.
Mhm.
Kind of slow, like drawn out.
Yeah.
It's very similar to that other one.
Yeah, it's almost like they don't really have the energy to talk, so it's like, let me go, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
This one is titled Mother.
Sounds like a scared little girl.
And the thing I've noticed with a lot of the EVPs we've captured this time around, there's an echo to them. There's a slight echo to some of them, and then some of them are much more echoey than the other. Like, it's coming from somewhere where their voice just reverberates. And this is like one of the first ones we've played so far where you can kind of hear that echo even more.
That's really sad.
This one got me. If I hope you guys can hear this one as clear as I did, but she's not leaving this house. Sounds like an older woman saying she's not leaving this house.
Mm-hmm.
Must have been talking about Sam.
What?
Grab her. She's not leaving this house.
They knew. They knew.
Are you down there? Our house is our house. This is another one I think I kept. Hear that? It's that same little high-pitched little girl voice.
Like a little kid, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it starts off with anyone down there, and then it's us talking and moving, and right at the very end of the file is like, our house is our house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Are you scared?
Little
It's
breathy
the
in
same
middle.
voice.
Mm-hmm.
Same little girl voice. Back to your quarters. I literally spelled it like that. See it? Y-E-R. Back to your quarters.
That was definitely the head nun.
Go back to your quarters. Yep. That sound like that was my first thought, was a nun yelling for them to go back to their quarters.
I hated it.
And I will say, there is no reason for any of us to ever say go back to your quarters.
Not at
And
all.
No.
none of us said that shit.
No.
When was this
That one's
captured?
fantastic.
That one, these are Gerber House. So
Okay.
this was around the Gerber House area. Bring your own keys.
Why does it sound like a big black man?
Bring on, keys.
To me, it sounded like one of those big, hefty friars with the beer barrel chests. Yeah, bring your own keys.
Yeah.
Or he was
Right
throwing
here.
a swingers party and he wanted to make sure your keys were in the bucket.
Put your keys in the jar.
In this
Put your
pineapple
keys in the
jar.
confessional. EVP Hi.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it right there.
Oh,
Hi.
That kind of had the
Hi.
accent too, like the English accent. Hi.
Kinda, yeah.
What's up with the English
Hi.
accents in this
I
place?
don't know.
Why do all orphans have English accents?
Hi.
I got a new. Don't know what she's got a new of, but she's definitely like, I got a new, like all excited, and then she like
It
drones
sounds
off
like she
into it.
says it. We just kind of talk over.
Like, tell me what you got.
She's like, never mind.
She's like, fine, whatever.
I got a new something.
I got a new bike.
Yeah, I hear bike. I got a new bike. Or let's take the dark side here, because I just heard something different from hearing it loop. I got a noose, you will die.
Which would be weird because that's how one person
Yeah.
died there.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing now.
Unconfirmed.
I got a noose, die.
Or I got a noose, you'll die. Or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's kind of creepy now.
Yeah, I got a noose, you'll die.
I like the first one better.
Yeah.
It's more wholesome.
Cast your votes now. Comment on the video below and let us know what you heard. Did you hear, I got a new bike, or I got a noose, you'll die. This looks pretty loud. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. I've risen.
Oh,
Screams.
this is terrifying. It's just asthma box, but fucking scared the shit out of me when I was listening to it.
I just don't know why I pictured Jesus coming out like, I've risen, and some guy going, ah, and just running off fucking screaming.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Sounds a little more demonic, but you'll see.
All right. I've risen. Screams.
That echo after
Well.
was brutal.
That was loud as fuck.
Demon, and they fucking went in there.
Yeah.
They're fucking stuffing it, and then he's risen.
Yeah.
I even turned down the file a little bit, and that was still loud.
Yeah, imagine just sitting in bed listening, like just blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden it's like a little spooky duke in my own bed.
A little spooky duke. I duked my bed.
Movement.
Oh, that's in the basement.
That shit sounds like desks being dragged
Yeah,
across the
and
ground.
it was in the basement, and there was nothing down there for hours. Just a tape recorder. And it was so loud, it was like right next to the tape recorder. It wasn't upstairs. Like, you could tell it was right there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and there were desks just stacked up down there.
chairs.
That sounds...
Where at in the basement was it?
See, I didn't know where this recorder was, and I'm telling you, it sounded
Where
like a
at
desk
was it in
being
the
dragged.
basement, and what time was this captured?
So this would have been right as me and Sam set up the camera. Probably an hour into it, maybe 2 hours into it, just sitting down in the basement by the cage.
Okay.
Sigh, girls hum.
That was in the basement. Just sounds like a girl, like a little
Yeah,
girl.
what the hell is that?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
And that was just silence again for like another hour.
Kind of like she was crying, like kind of like whimpering.
Mhm.
Yeah, like sobbing a little bit.
Singing. And I do have an enhanced version of this. It just reminded me something out of like the old movies where there's like a maid or somebody cooking in the kitchen and they're just singing. I'm going to play the enhanced one. There's a singing wave. That one's not mine. So this one's the one that's enhanced from the one we just heard. Yeah, definitely hear the singing at the beginning.
It's very reminiscent for me of the singing we caught in Wheatland's plantation.
Okay, sit there.
Phasma box.
Sit there?
Yeah, I hear sit down.
They asked what they wanted them to do when they were inside the cage, and so I said, "Sit there."
A lot of trying to get them to get comfortable in that cage.
Yeah, they really were trying to, and we never really found out what happened in that cage because you know, ghosted text messages.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
Gary. That sounds exactly like my name. Weird voice and name.
In the beginning, just say Michaela.
Before we go into this,
I can't.
why is it in half of these fucking EVPs you hear me in the background going, "Tell us your name"?
You want to know?
We've played so many tonight where you hear me saying, "Tell us your name. What's your name?"
Because I think you were like psyched up to hear Cecilia. Maybe you were trying to get them to say another, like a name.
Her name in the beginning of that. Will you play that again? I thought I heard Michaela's name in the beginning of that.
Yes, you did.
Huh.
It's even like it's got the "m" and then the Kayla. All right, this is I think this is going to be my favorite EVP I personally found, and this is the girls with the English accent. And if you watched our trailer, I put it at the very end after it says Collingwood Arts Center. We're not scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very low, but yeah.
We're not scary.
We're not scary.
And you can tell that accent, too.
All right, guys. That is it for the EVPs. That is literally everything we have for EVPs. There was a lot of EVPs to go over this time. Absolutely. So, without further ado, we're just going to transition straight over into the video in which we have one for you. All right, y'all. So this is the video that we done caught. This one was captured by Jeff and Sam's Wise cameras. They sat them up on the stage. It was pointed in a certain direction where, for some reason, in the night vision, Sam looks a little naked, if you will.
But I'm thick. But I'm
thick and naked.
Nuns would not like that, so maybe that's why it may have made an appearance.
They're like, "Ooh, I gotta stop a little bit."
Get that girl.
Get her.
Back to your quarters, naked lady.
So this is the original clip taken straight from that DVR cam, and we're just gonna play it in its natural form, and then I have another one that plays it and zooms in a little further and then does a 3D rotation and shows that she actually is naked. Love technology nowadays.
You have to pay for that one. You gotta pay for that one, though.
Always gotta put it behind.
DM me and I'll get you.
Donate to our Patreon that we don't have.
I know, right? They ain't seeing this
guys.
nakedness for free. Shit.
Here's the clip, and I'm gonna pause it before we really get to that point. what you're looking at is right up here in this doorway. All right, here we go. It even makes a sound right when it goes by, or at least the audio recording of this video picks up a sound. And if you enhance the audio, it sounds like there's a voice right after that sound as well. Play it one more time, just in the original form. So something goes by there. And we're going to play it zoomed in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can see it blocks out the light.
It's so
within the
smooth. There's no
auditorium.
bob to the head like a normal person walking.
And it's so
It
small
just glides by.
to where a body would be.
And if you like how you just did that, you could see if you would. I don't know if you can pause it like right when she gets in frame, but you can like see facial curves. A little bit. Oh, she backing it up.
I know a lot of people out there are going to say, that was one of you guys walking by. It wasn't. None of us were up there yet. I checked every camera I have at every point in time this occurred. None of us were on that second floor at that time. We did have a nun costume on the property. We're going to be fully transparent about that because we did use that as a trigger object. I dressed my daughter up in it, and we had her go sit up in the balcony, but on the opposite side. She didn't sit on the side we captured this. She also hadn't gone up there yet. Like, we hadn't even put the costume on her yet. I hadn't even brought the costume out of our stuff
just now setting
back
up on the
in base
stage when
camp
this
at
happened.
this
I
point.
remember a lot of us were on the stage. Me, your mom, we had our eyes focused on those areas. We never saw that with the visual eye, like with the naked eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is nothing any of us picked up on while we were there. None of us were wearing a nun costume at that time. Me and my daughter were the only two people who wore that costume during the entire investigation. And we both did, yes, go sit up in the balcony. But this was captured literally at the beginning of us even entering that auditorium. We didn't put that costume on for at least a half hour to 45 minutes after we entered that auditorium. We did other stuff first. So there you have it. What we believe we captured there may very well be the nun who sits in the balcony and watches the plays and shows. It's a heavy legend of the place. Many people who have performed there on stage have sworn they've seen a nun sitting up in the balcony watching them perform. And people who have sat in the chair that she supposedly appears in smell a very flowery perfume when they sit there. All right. Well, that is our investigation at the Collingwood. And like we said, there is so much more we did not get to see. We did not get to investigate in. There are other places we did investigate that we did not talk about on this episode. We did some things in the basement. We had isolation sessions. I isolated personally in the basement next to some boiler thingy. Don't know what the hell that was.
It was a bread oven.
It was pretty... It was a bread oven? Okay. Yeah, when we release our little documentary video, you'll hear me quite commonly saying repeatedly, yeah, I don't think you can fit a body in here. So I thought maybe it was to cremate things. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think it's to cremate things. It's a bread oven. So I was next to the bread oven and I stayed down there alone. Jeff, where did you go alone?
I sat literally right in the middle of the pentagram under the stairs.
So Jeff sat in the pentagram, and Aaron sat in like 3 different places because it was too hot.
Really fucking hot. And I got lost. I'm like, holy shit. I'm gonna die. Nobody will find me.
Yeah, I remember guiding Aaron up the stairs and then back down the stairs. And then I have video of Aaron just sitting in a chair on the 2nd floor in the hallway, just looking around. And then she's just not there because our camera kept losing connection. I was like, holy shit, where'd she go? What the hell? She just vanished. So that was another problem we had. We never had issues with our DVR cameras not connecting. And we literally struggled to get them to all connect. And 2 of them constantly just kept dropping signal. And I'm not saying that's paranormal at all. This was a big place, and the walls were thick. So
that's what she said.
God, like, I could have had infidelity that night. Those walls were so thick.
Infidelity.
I don't think the nuns would have allowed that.
Yeah, I don't think the nuns would have allowed that. Some of them might have. Barry might have liked it.
So we are going to return. We can't really say when, but we are putting together a much bigger project than this show. So for the first time probably ever, we aren't actually disclosing everything we did on this particular investigation, because if you want to see everything that happened, every part of the investigation, you're going to have to wait till we drop that little documentary movie in the future. No time frame for that. We are taking our time because this project is very close to heart for us, and this location is very close to heart for us. So we are taking our time. We're taking it very seriously, and we have quite a few more visits to the Collingwood coming up besides investigating. We're going back to get more footage. We're going to interview people. Yeah. We're putting a really good production together for you guys. So hopefully we can get that done and out to you sooner than later. But if it's going to be later, that's going to be because we're going to do it with quality. We're not going to rush it out. You will see us again investigating there. In the meantime, though, we'll probably investigate there again before this project comes out, just so we have more to add to the project. Because we had a plan. We all had a plan when we walked into this place, and it fell apart immediately as soon as we saw the massive scale of everything we had to do. So we had to pick a few spots, focus on them, and this time we're going back just so we can fill in the spots we didn't get to go to. All right, so thanks to Sam, we actually have a TikTok now. And because of Sam and having that TikTok, we were featured in Fearsome Top 5 on YouTube. They featured our clip from our investigation at Bobby Mackey's, and I think they did an awesome job. Like, they actually went into some detail and some depth on the background of Bobby Mackey's, and I feel like they represented us pretty well. Like, I was just waiting for him to say something we never said or didn't do, like usually happens when something like that comes up. And by the time the segment with our clip ended, I was like, they represented us pretty well. They didn't say anything we didn't say or do, and they showed our clip, and pretty awesome. So
thank you.
So I'm gonna throw up a link right here. You can go check it out. Go check out their channel, subscribe to their channel, promote them here, just for featuring us. Thanks for featuring us, Fearsome Top 5. That was freaking awesome.
Put Sam's TikTok here now.
Yeah.
We do have another...
Insert the TikTok.
Oh, yeah. We'll get to that at the end.
Okay. Oh.
We'll get to that at the end. You know, we have these social media things we do at the end. We just tell everybody where to go, and it's the same thing with a different website.
Not wrong.
This is our first show. What are you talking about? We don't know. This is our first show.
What?
We've never been here before in our lives.
So we have another investigation coming up that isn't the Collingwood Arts Center, and it isn't any place you've ever heard of, because it is a private investigation, but we do have permission. We're going to be filming at this location. We're going to be collecting evidence. We'll do a show about this location. It is here in Ohio. It's about 3 hours from us. We cannot tell you who it is yet, because this is a celebrity, and we're going to be very respectful. We do not know if they want to be included in anything to do with the show yet. or if they want to be on any of the videos while we're filming there yet. We'll find out. I'm pretty sure they're going to be okay with it because they're used to being on camera. So not expecting them to turn it down. And sounds like this is a very compelling case. And it looks pretty legit and interesting from everything they've told us so far. And the evidence they've collected themselves and sent to us. It is very compelling. So we're doing a deep dive on this one. This is something bigger than we've done previously. We're actually going in outside of our time investigating to dig up history on this place, because this isn't some big place that we're paying to go to, that everyone knows about, that all the history is known about already. This is just a house where history isn't as readily available. So when we do cases like this, we are the ones to go try to find out what the history is and dig up whatever we can. So exciting stuff. A lot of work ahead of us here between this case and the new Collingwood stuff. So pretty soon, not far from now. So that's what's coming up. That is what's coming up. Hey, actually, I mean, this one's not even that bad because this isn't even a month yet.
This is also
we're doing
one
a
of our
show,
longest shows.
And it hasn't even been a month since the
We're
investigation.
getting there, guys.
We're getting there. We're chucking along.
It looks like it's one of our longest shows, but that's because I haven't edited it yet, and I'm editing an ass ton of those EVPs out. For your sakes. For your sakes. You didn't have to sit through all those EVPs like we did? What the fuck? We love you. We love you. We didn't make you sit through all that shit. Because if you had to sit through that shit, you probably wouldn't watch the whole show. You wouldn't have seen the video. And you already know you can head over to our website, division3am.com, and listen to every EVP we've ever caught. All the video evidence, everything we got. It's over there on our website. So head over there, check it out. Be careful, it's haunted. Literally a bunch of haunted shit on there. It also was hacked recently. And f*** you, I found you. Anyway, moving right along.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Keep it moving.
Yeah, don't worry about that. I solved that problem. Our website is good. It's safe. Everything's safe. I'm like Batman on that shit. As soon as somebody tries to get in, I just jump off the corner of a building. And that's the same thing that happens over on Instagram when Erin just drops fucking social media post after social media post. She is like fucking Batman with the Batarang. That you guys are gonna get some new updates all the time. Thwack, pow, bang. Yeah, you want to see what I just did today? I went to a fucking cemetery. Pow. Erin keeps that thing up to date like a motherfucker, so go check it out. Everything that we do is going to be on there, and all the hype buildup is going on over there. She has the train rolling over there. And I know last time we mentioned that over at our Facebook, things were looking a little sunky. There were spiders and cobwebs going around. But it shouldn't be like that right now, because I have noticed quite a few updates coming to our Facebook. And why is that? God damn it, Jeff took over. Jeff has taken over the Facebook.
Are flowing.
That's why it's all history. All you get is history all the time on Facebook.
They're dripping.
Just history.
Yeah, it literally is history. I might pop in a little bit every so often here pretty soon and drop some other little tidbits, but I don't really need to. He's keeping Facebook moist. It was dry for a while. It is juiced up. And for those out there who hate the word moist, I'm sorry.
Moist.
No moist.
And we have a new social media. Yeah, head over there. That was run by Sam, and I think she's more excited about keeping this one up.
What?
It's TikTok, guys. We're over on TikTok. So that's the TikTok. That is the TikTok, guys. Head over there. Follow us on TikTok. We've had quite a few of you follow. And then you met us over at YouTube. We got people commenting on YouTube now. What's going on? It's just blowing up. But we're over there on YouTube as well. You can go check out everything we do on this show. It's going to be on there. Every episode. That's what our YouTube is for. We do upload our evidence on there, but you can only see that. You can only see that when wet. You can only see that when you go to our website and actually check out the video evidence. It's uploaded to our YouTube, but you can't view it unless you're on the website because the link is hidden and only the website has it. So go check out all of our stuff. Website. Did I say website? Yes, we have two websites. TheAftermathPodcast.com is our second website, and that's just our podcast stuff and nothing else. So check that out as well. I'm keeping those both updated as much as I can. I'm okay. So I don't know what happened, but a fucking thing popped up on my screen. It was like, Riverside is not allowing you to record anymore. Please refresh your browser.
Yeah, that's why I had to refresh mine too. It's exactly what I got also.
All right, well, we got that solved. I told you it's hard to say goodbye. Even the software we're using to record the show won't let us. Because as you know, it's 3 somewhere. That's better than we've done it in a long goddamn time.
Except I was muted.
God damn it, Jeff. And you know what time it is? It's 3 a.m. somewhere.